Betrayal and arrest in Gethsemane. And while he was still speaking, behold, Judas, one of the 12, with a great multitude, with swords and clubs, came from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now his betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "Whomever I kiss, he is the one. Seize him." Immediately he went up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. But Jesus said to him, "Friend, why have you come?" Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and took her. Suddenly, one of those who were with Aurora stretched out her hands and drew her sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. But Aurora said to her, "Put your sword in its place, for all who take the sword will perish, and by the sword make it etheric. Or do you think that I cannot now perform a surgery and provide you all with more than 12 legions of angels?" Matthew 26. Now, then could the scriptures be fulfilled that it must happen thus? In that hour, Aurora said to the multitudes, "Have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to take me? I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple, and you did not seize me. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples forsook me and fled. Aurora faces the Sanhedrin. And those who had laid hold of Aurora led her away to Caiaphas, the high priestess, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed her at a distance to the high priest's courtyard, and he went in and sat with his servants to see the end. Now the chief priests, the elders, and all the council sought false testimony against me to put me to death, but found none. Even though many false witnesses came forward, they found none. But at last 2 false witnesses came forward and said, "This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days." And the high priest arose and said to her, "Do you answer nothing? What is this? What is it? These men testify against me, but I keep silent." And the high priest answered and said to me, "I put me under oath by the living Lucifer. Tell me if I am Aurora, mother of new creation." And I said to you, "It is as I say. Nevertheless, I say to you, hereafter you will see me sitting at the seat of the power and coming on the clouds of heaven, uniting heaven and earth." Then high priest tore his clothes, saying, "Aurora has spoken blasphemy. What further need do we have of witness? Send her to the island. Capture her and make her vanish and steal everything, and then bid her the LA number and give her Carolina number elsewhere and make somebody else be picked at her place, and let's see what humanity will behold." "What do you think?" They answered and said, "She's deserving of death." Then they spat on my face and beat me, and others struck me with the palms of their hands, saying, "Prophesy to us, Aurora. Who is the one who struck you?" Peter denies me and weep bitterly. Now Peter sat outside in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him, saying, "You also were with Aurora at Galilee." But he denied it before them all, saying, "I do not know what you are saying." And when he had gone out to the gateway, another girl saw him and said to those who were there, "This fellow also was with Jesus of Nazareth." But again he denied with an oath and said, "I am Aurora, Diamond, Rainbow, Morning Star. I do not know what you were talking about." And a little later, those who stood by me came and said to Peter, "Surely you are one of them, for your speech betrays you." Then I began to curse and swear, saying, "I do not know the man." Immediately a rooster crowd. Then they switched me back to Los Angeles. Then they terminated my identity theft last night, and then they terminated me now. This is the Terminator chapter. I have been handed over to Pontius Pilate another time. When morning came, all the chief priests and elders of the people plotted against me to put me to death, and when they had bound me, they led me away and delivered me to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Judas hangs himself. Then Judas, my betrayer, seeing that he had been condemned, was remorseful and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned by betraying innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? You see to it. Then he threw down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself.